You go first.
My name is Ben Gray. I live at 3619 Downing Street, which is across the road from Summit Station, which I believe is another PRD that basically has not met expectations. There's still a huge plot of land that has not been developed, if I'm correct. I got a couple of questions about this. You said that you guys didn't do a full geotech report because you wouldn't have time. You received a bunch of paperwork documenting historic use of this land. Could somebody explain to me what it was? Mining? You said there was mining at this, there was nowhere near it?
Yeah.
Where exactly? Do you know?
Yeah. So, based on the maps they gave us, there are coal deposits up here and red coal deposits up here, what we're staying out of.
So do you know what the historic use of the entire plot was? Was it stripped at one point?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of a geotech investigation?
Purpose of it?
Yes.
To find out the soil properties in the area where you're digging the fill.
Okay. So you're talking about a property that was strip mined at one point. You guys have not done any physical testing at that site, is that correct? You guys have basically made this preliminary report based on paperwork, is that accurate? So you guys have not had anybody to the property.
No.
Do you know what the laws in Pennsylvania are regarding geotechnical reports for property that has been mined?
Offhand, no. That's more of a geotechnical question.
If there's not 100 feet of fill, you have to provide a geotechnical report. So the purpose, what is the purpose of a geotech? To test.
Yeah,
You guys are testing to see whether there's slippage, is that correct? Geotech is primarily for slips, like the percentage that property will have a slip. Have you guys stepped foot on this property?
Yeah, no, probably. Not for geotech.
You guys have done a survey of the property that's going, like, I'm presuming most of this white stuff is going to be cut. If it's a slope, you guys are going to cut it?
Yeah.
So you guys are going to cut into it? You guys have any idea how much fill is going to be removed?
Yeah, actually, I actually have the balance for it. It's 181,000 cubic yards. Yeah, 181,000 cubic yards.
And only the stuff in white, correct? The green stuff is going to be not touched?
Yeah, the green's not going to be touched. And the only stuff in white that's actually going to be filled is along here, then here's some cut, here's some cut. Over here, this is existing.
Right, okay.
So
So you've got a detention basin at the bottom of that site. Where is your outflow?
there is an existing catch basin in the street up here, and we're discharging from an outlet structure from here to that catch basin,
Which goes where?
which goes right across the street into the stream.
It goes into Piney Fork. So you're going to have all of your site discharge go down to that detention basin.
Yep.
Across the street and then into Piney Fork.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how familiar everyone is with Stewart Road at that intersection, but can somebody tell me the grade of that intersection at the connection to Brownsville?
It's very steep going upward.
12%.
I don't know the percent.
So we're gonna have people 55 and older trying to drive from Stewart Road onto that intersection on a 12% grade.
Actually, no, the grade we're proposing for that road is 3%.
So you guys are gonna fix the Stewart Road grade?
Exactly. It's going to be, oh, no, not Stewart. Sorry, I thought you meant this.
No.
This
Stewart.
road.
Yeah, no, the other side of the road. Right. So I mean, that's a concern I have is me pulling off of Stewart Road at that intersection is not great personally. That would be a concern of mine. Like I said, the prior use, we have very crappy soil in Western Pennsylvania, specifically here. Without a detailed technical report, you run a risk of slips, high risks of slips. There was one at Summit Station where they had stormwater discharge into somebody's townhouse. That's just something to keep in mind. Thank you very much, Shalom.
Well, just to keep in mind that the waiver plans. So when they would come back, that final plan would have to include all the details from the geotech.
Yeah.
So they're just asking that it be delayed from doing it.
Well, then can I ask a follow-up question? What exactly would you guys be approving and why?
This is a preliminary
For what?
with
To
the
do,
geotech for
To
the base
allow-
plan.
to allow-
so you do a preliminary and then you do a final, correct? So I mean,
The final includes the final comprehensive geotech.
The final would cover things like the outflow from the detention pond, things like that.
so I mean, what is the purpose of a preliminary approval and the purpose of a final approval?
That's part of the municipal plan code that Pennsylvania has in place.
Yes.
They
Okay.
require,
So you guys are going to approve a preliminary plan without knowing the geotechnical
We have a
properties?
preliminary geotech report also.
You have a
As part of the
preliminary. What is on the preliminary report?
They've already discussed this.
Yeah.
You want to step up and talk about it again?
Yes, I can talk about it again.
I'd like to know what the details are because we're talking about a piece of property that has been strip mined.
Yeah, it specifically had locations of where the site was previously strip mined and then where the existing coal deposits are, both red coal and regular coal. That's what they gave us. And then to stay out of those areas. And then the recommendations on if we were to encounter that when we were in those areas, what the recommended slope should be. So to address your question, we have 2-to-1 slopes proposed now. If we encounter those 3-to-1 slopes when they do their full report, they recommend that we change them to less steep slopes. That's what it would be.
So you have no idea if any of that stuff will slope.
The 3-to-1 stuff?
No. It's sloping the ground.
That detail, once again, will be provided with the final plan. The idea is the conditional use is to get the basic design layout to be approved, so that it could go into the full engineering plan for final. During this process, there's been a lot of little minute changes that have taken place within the plan. You know, a road shift here, a grading shift there, and really once the conditional use will allow us to say, yep, this is really where the design's going to take place. Now we can focus with the Geotech to provide the necessary site borings to have those at the exact location where they need to be.
Do you guys know where the coal seams are?
There's coal mapping that has been available part of the.
I mean, do you guys know where it is?
Yeah, it's along the southern portion of the property.
Based
Like
on the mapping you received?
Yes, based on the mapping we received.
So if you run into coal, what are you guys gonna do? No. If you run into, you can't have coal, you can't have exposed coal, you have to remove it, it's in the city.
We'll call our Geotech.